And one of the things you said during a commercial break 2 commercials ago was you said innovation solves everything. If we can just get some innovation going, therefore we can get jobs going, and that will solve a lot of things. And I said if innovation was perfected, it would actually reduce jobs globally.
That's like
you think I'm totally wrong?
That's like a
Well, you're
like a
on a theoretical basis, Andrew, you're right.
In a perfect world,
practically speaking,
creative
okay,
structure.
so we've got to change the skills mix. Right now, we have too many unskilled people that aren't going to be able to do the jobs of the future. And so one of the things the forum's working on is how do we get like the youth of Europe?
Yeah.
How do we get the young people in the United States get those skills? This woman was talking about Dunwoody. That's a great place that does it. It's not just, you know, they've got to get the skills to be able to do the jobs innovation creates.
Yeah.
That's the key.
And then the role of education. The role of education is to be significant here because we need to educate people for the jobs that we have today and for the jobs that we'll have tomorrow. And we're not doing that.
What do you think about
And that doesn't mean, nobody does have to go to college necessarily.
Right.
The key is how do we restructure the education system so that it provides the right jobs with the right skills to be employable. And we have examples of that today.
What do you
Isn't
think
that the key for Europe? Isn't that the key for Europe?
Key for
because you have
everyone.
a
It's
great
also
educational
key.
system, but you have what? I was in Spain and Barcelona in March, 52% youth unemployment.
Absolutely.
We talk about 7% being too high here. I don't know what they do.
Isn't that the key, though?
Yeah, it's 12.5% in Europe, but it's 40+% for the young people. When you go around the world, Middle East is a huge issue, youth unemployment.
And that leads to unrest.
Yes, and that leads to unrest and extremism. So those are huge consequences.
Well, the real question Andrew's asking, and Malthusian bets have always, if you're Malthusian, you've lost. We've found innovation brings more scarce resources. You think about food. We aren't supposed to be able to feed the world.
Yes.
When the population got to this level, there wasn't going to be enough acreage, but we can easily do that. Are jobs also something that there's no limit to? Will a Malthusian bet about jobs, will you be a loser there as well as the population grows globally?
You know, it's just the world is transforming so rapidly that we just have a hard time comprehending what the impact is going to be of all this transformation.
I think you shouldn't bet against the possibility of of having great opportunities, better opportunities than we have now, and a better quality of life in the future.
You don't think in the future that if we actually innovate as
they
well
would have said this in the 17th century, the 18th century, the 19th century.
In a perfect world, we would innovate ourselves out of jobs.
Think if you thought people had to pick crops or pick whatever it was, or had to the way that we used to make fabric. If you put all those people making fabric out of business with machines, there would be no job. But every single time something else comes along.
So let's get back to Jean-Pierre. How are the CEOs going to come together in Davos and start addressing these issues instead of just going to hear the world leader of Turkey or national?
Well, they already are working on this. In the summer, we had a large meeting of CEOs. We called it the International Business Council. And the first issue, the only issue they really talked about, is unemployment, and particularly youth unemployment. So there are 2 levels. There's a micro level in which what companies should do in order to improve employment, and at the macro level, what governments should do. And we have examples of that. In the U.S. in particular, we have companies who are connecting with community colleges today and shaping the curriculum in such a way that the graduates have a job, including in their own companies. In Europe, we have examples like this of new education system, of people training young people for the jobs of today and for tomorrow. But also the government has to play a role because it has to create the environment for reform in the education system.
Okay. Let me ask one other question. Off of it, it's not an education question, it's actually a tax question, which is, how much do you think taxes play a part in this whole situation in terms of creating the right environment for business and what some people have described as the race to the bottom, with every country and in the United States at some level, states competing for lower taxes ultimately? Because you're looking at this from up here, not, we're the U.S., we look at it, how can we compete with one other country? If you look at the entire globe, it changes the way you might consider this issue.
Well, yeah, but it's the same case everywhere. In other words, innovation is going to play a role, but the question is to figure out what's going to be needed in the future and then cater to that.
Yeah, educationally.
Education.
Yesterday, Secretary of Treasury of the United States goes and lectures the Germans about how terrible it is they are inflating their economy. The Germans have got the best system evolve for apprentices
terms of trade
and for
schools.
getting people ready for jobs. That's why the German economy is exporting so much, because they train them for the industries where they're strong.
But they did that a long time ago.
Exactly.
It's not
But
like
don't we
new.
need to do this in the
Yes.
United States? And we need to do it in your home country of France,
Yes.
don't we? In Italy, Spain,
Yeah.
you name it. Don't we
Yeah.
need to change the whole education system
Yes.
to gear to the jobs in the future?
Yes.
And are the CEOs concerned about
Yes,
that?
very much concerned about that. In fact, this group of CEOs has decided that youth unemployment was the major issue that they wanted to talk about in Davos. There are multiple sessions in Davos about unemployment, in particular youth unemployment.
Right.
And again, a multi-stakeholder session. So you do have government, you do have business, you do have civil society, you do have the people who are leaders, they are in a position to act. So that's what we expect.
So Jean-Pierre, you're in charge. In my shower, I know I'm not going to have a door, a shower door. Well, I have one of those things that I take off, and I got to hope I don't spill it. Can you can you get me a room with a normal shower over there in all of Europe? Do you know?
We'll give you a sleeping bag.
That's pretty
What's
much
the
all you're
problem
getting.
over there?
Europeans are very fond of hand showers.
Yeah, I know. Hand what?
Hand shower.
All right.
The ones that you move around, as you say.
So that's what I got. I got what I got.
Well, yeah,
I'll have a beautiful bidet, but no shower door.
When
That's
in
right.
Davos, Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get your
but they
pop.
give you,
Well, this is,
you're going to have to walk
mountain
a mile to your hotel
I
room.
know.
But you get a little meter to see how many
I
steps
got no
you've taken.
carpet on my
Yes,
floor
and
in
you're
this
going to be in
place.
great shape. And we do. We're going to compete on that. We'll all
have
get
your
our little
pedometers.
pedometer and we'll compete with it.
Yes, yes.
He's
Hell,
staying at the Belvedere, you know what I mean? That's
No,
for
Absolutely
Joe
not.
Kiernan stays.
No, he's not.
That's right. We
Thank
stay way out of it.
Thank you for coming.
You're very welcome.